Here we go. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday night, right before the 4th of July. I'm Tracey Flintoff, and this is Cami Brecko, and we are going to tag team this tonight and share with you something that's really made a difference in our lives, and we've been able to help an awful lot of people with it. And please thank the person who invited you. I think you're going to thank them. I'm going to share my screen and share with you a little information about something that you may or may not know anything about. But what we're talking about is the power of the patch. We are talking about light making a change in the body, helping the body to find balance or homeostasis. And what we're talking about is reversing aging, and it is all natural. It is a smart new technology that allows your body to repair itself. And it is a pretty remarkable little product, and it allows us to avoid becoming one of these very scary statistics, because there's a statistic out there that about 2/3 of our planet, and it breaks my heart, that they are going to end up dying from an avoidable disease. And in this day and age, I just think that is so wrong, because we have such incredible technology, and that should not be the case. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is how to avoid becoming a statistic like that. And we're going to talk about turning back the hands of time. And before we get started, I want to let you all know that what we're talking about tonight is a holistic wellness device product in the FDA category. This is not a medical device. Therefore, you're not learning about this from your doctor. We don't have pharmaceutical reps out there calling on people. Because of the nature of what this is and our FDA in our country, we have to learn about this word of mouth, person to person, sadly. But we can do a good job of sharing this, and that's exactly why we're doing these Zooms. But Cami and I, we are not medical professionals, and tonight we will not be diagnosing, treating, curing any medical condition. We're just going to share some good information with you. And you'd always want to consult with your doctor if you have any medical issues and regarding your own treatment.
Hey,
And what we're talking about tonight is light therapy. And light therapy has been used for thousands of years, going back in history. And we are talking about different modalities. You've probably heard of a red light and a blue light therapy. You've probably heard of an infrared sauna over here on the right. MRI imaging, lasers. There's just so many different ways that light is used in health today. But what we're talking about is a patch, a phototherapy patch called X39, and it works with light. And what is happening is when we go out in that sunshine, I would say, venture to say, most of us would agree, we feel warm and happy and better and more energized when we have sunshine, as opposed to when we have gray and dark, gloomy days. And the reasoning why is that sun is telling our body to create vitamin D3 in our body. And light works very fast in the body. And what we're talking about with the X39 is a patented form of a wearable light technology. And it is pretty remarkable because it's not non-transdermal. You may have heard of an estrogen patch, a vitamin patch, a nicotine patch. Those are all transdermal patches, which means something goes into the bloodstream with that type of modality. This is contrary to that. Nothing is entering the skin, nothing goes into the bloodstream. Therefore, we have no drugs, no chemicals, stimulants. We don't have to worry about dosing or medication side effects, because the light is communicating directly with our cells. And again, this is a globally patented product, 20-year global patent on this. And what this is doing is it's raising a peptide in our body called GHK-Cu. The Cu stands for copper peptide. And you might be familiar with the popularity of peptides and copper from about 50 years ago. A lot of people got very excited about what these do in the body to regenerate, repair, and rejuvenate. And they started wearing copper bracelets, if you remember that. This is along the lines of that, but this is taking this to a much higher level. but it is body heat activated, and it's reflecting our own infrared light back into the body to elevate different peptides and systems. We'll talk more about those in a minute, but essentially, that light is light you can only see with like a night vision goggle. If you've ever seen them, we really can't see them to the naked eye, but it is the heat signature you might see on an animal or a person out in the forest in a crime drama show. We wear the patches for 12 hours on to activate and repair, and 12 hours off for rest and regeneration. What we're really doing is we are mimicking the circadian rhythm of light. We have 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark, and we're doing the same thing in our body with these patches. And it is really important that we repeat this daily. We don't use these sporadically to get the best result. And we want to drink a lot of water. Water is really critically important. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a global patent. This is one of the abstracts talking about this. It's not easy to get a patent, and to get a global patent takes quite something else. And this is the inventor here, David Schmidt, looking in the microscope there. He's the inventor and CEO, and just a genius man, and a heart of gold, a pay it forward kind of guy who puts purpose over profit. And he refuses to let the big pharma companies buy him out. He wants this to be accessible to the masses. His goal in life is to help people live a better quality life. And he says no to any big dollar buyouts. And we really admire how much he really cares about people and the planet. What we're going to talk about is that GHK copper peptide, which is really the holy grail of repair. And that repair can be for skin and hair. And you'll be surprised. We're going to show you some pictures so you can see evidence of what this does to help reduce sunspots, skin lesions, protect from UV radiation, and helping with hair growth and thickness, wound healing, skin tightening. It does amazing things for lung protection. Also with helping lungs repair from damage and chronic pulmonary issues. This also is incredibly reparative for brain and nerves, and it is giving the body the ability to reconnect the neural pathways and the neurons that might have had atrophy or loss of blood flow, and maybe that person's cognition is not what it used to be. But with the use of the X39 patch, because it is bringing back that peptide, GHK copper peptide, it does allow the brain to make some amazing repairs and regenerations. And we'll show you more on that here in just a couple minutes. It also has anti-stress, anti-anger. It has a calming effect. It helps with discomfort, pain. They've also used this successfully with damaged spinal cords. And we're going to show you something along the lines of that as well here in just a minute. Anti-fast growing cells. This is pretty remarkable. And of course, I imagine a lot of you can read between the lines. We can't say that C word, but this is the body's way of keeping that at bay. And when we're young, we have a lot of this peptide in our body. And to me, it's like it keeps the bad stuff trapped in a closet, and it's the gatekeeper of that door so that these bad things like these fast growing cells don't enter our life. But sadly, as we age, those things can break down the doors and become a problem in our health. This helps with the programmed cell death. They also call that apoptosis, helping those zombie cells to die. It helps prevent the fast growing cells from recreating. And my very favorite, the bottom one here that is bolded, is it resets 84 genes to inhibit fast growing cells. So when you're inhibiting genes, that's like being a gene whisperer. That's DNA, things that we might have inherited from family, and that is turning back the hands of time to a younger state when we don't have fast growing cells and a lot of other scary things. So that's pretty amazing, very, very powerful. But what it also does is it acts as an antioxidant. And that really makes a big difference in superoxide dismutase. It helps with suppressing molecules that are the cause of aging and it helps block oxidization. And so if you think of an apple, when you cut that apple in half and it's this beautiful apple in the middle, and you leave it on the counter for a while and it turns that reddish, rusty color, that is oxidization. And that is what happens inside of our body. We just can't see it. And as we age, we can start to feel the effects of it. But pretty great that that GHK can help us turn back the hands of time on that and prevent that. But I want to back up here and talk about the basis of life. And life begins when the egg and the sperm meet and the stem cell is created, just one singular stem cell in the womb. And that is the blueprint of that body and who that baby will become. And it is the duplication of those stem cells that actually create that baby. It takes about 9 months to generate a baby. You know, we're talking what, 5 to 9 pounds on average. And so that's 9 months of starting from nothing to create that little tiny thing. But that is what is going to keep that baby healthy and repairing very quickly up until about age 30 to 35. And the bell curve of Mother Nature's journey is we peak out around age 30, 35, and we have lost about half of our stem cells at that point. And you know, when that newborn baby is born, they're really full of stem cells. Their skin is so soft, they smell so good. So those stem cells, that's why. But as we go through life, things start to change, and it's largely because we are losing more and more. And by age 60, we have less than 10% of our stem cells are available to help us repair and regenerate. And the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And the good news is that doesn't have to be our course. And you might have heard people talk about stem cell injections. Odds are you have a friend or two who've possibly had even an injection into a joint. Often it could be in a shoulder or a knee to bring back the tissues in that and help with a bone-on-bone situation, trying to perhaps avoid a knee replacement. But the reality is our best stem cells that do the best work are called pluripotent because they're blanks. They come from cord blood, typically, and they're not available in the United States any longer. You have to go out of country. But when you do that injection, you're really getting somebody else's DNA injected into your body. Your body doesn't always take kindly to that. It tends to want to reject what, you know, wasn't given to them. And it can be very, very expensive. Tony Robbins, I know, recently went down to Panama and got a shoulder injection for shoulder pain he was dealing with. And that was like a $35,000, just the injection. That will probably last him about 5 years. He'll be back doing that again. And he had to go out of country. But it's not always effective. But in the US, we have a few options. We do have PRP, that's plasma-rich platelet injections, where they're injecting your own stem cells back into the body. But that's not always the best either. You know, if we're 75 and we're re-injecting our old 75-year-old stem cells, probably not going to get the full result we want. The best way that you can get your own stem cells to repair and prevent, rejuvenate, is really by just activating your own dormant stem cells. The very good news is when I showed you that chart, that age 35, we lost half, they don't leave the body. They're still in our body. They've just basically burnt out like light bulbs that no longer have power. And the good news is these patches that we wear have the ability to regenerate and bring them back to life. So you see an image here on the left, and these are common placement points for several of the patches. Where we place these is based on Chinese acupressure. It's based on the meridian flow, energy flows in the body. And what this is, like I said, the body heat activating, regenerating, and reflecting our own low-level infrared light. And it's just helping to move energy and unblock energy. And it works radically quick. If you think of how quickly the light switch works, when you flip that switch, it's instantaneous. Same is very true with these patches. But we have a very good friend, Marcy Preble, and this is her picture here. And I'll tell you a little bit about her story. About 4 years ago, she was undergoing pretty radical treatments, chemo and radiation for fast-growing cells. And in 2019, she really felt that she was not going to be long for this life. And she was pretty sad and depressed, living in a recliner chair, counting down her days, thinking there was no hope for her. luckily her naturopath gave her 10 of these X39 patches. And on day 3, the chemo started coming out through her mouth. On day 7, it came out through her back. We needed to get the toxins out of the body. So that is really good news that she was doing that. But on day 10, she had a new energy and a new conviction. She wasn't letting this cancer take her out. She just had energy and confidence, and she was excited. And these pictures here are her, 1 year later. Look at the difference. And look at her here 4 years later. I mean, she's just going stronger than ever and still in full remission. So she has had an amazing result. And she's actually been in remission for about 3 years now. So this is my favorite part of the patching presentation. And this is when we have people share their story. And Joy, I'm hoping, is back on. Joy, are you available to unmute?
I am available. I'm unmuted.
Excellent. Your camera is not on. Am I able to turn that on for you? Maybe.
Did that work?
You're not able to? Let's see. I'd love for them to see your beautiful suntan glow.
Video because it's you have to do it. Okay.
Okay. Ask to start video. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Here we have Joy. So Joy is a very dear friend of mine and neighbor at my beach house down in Olympia, and she's currently living in Maui. I'm going to turn it over to Joy and let her tell you about her journey on her traumatic brain injury repair. Okay, Joy.
Hello, everybody. Hi. So 7.5 years ago, I slipped and fell on ice on my driveway. And for 5.5 years, I wasn't able to drive. I was not able to look at electronics bigger than my phone. I wasn't able to process information very well. And I would have terrible headaches and sensory overwhelm and hangovers. And Tracey gave me some patches, and it took her 6 weeks to get me to try them. And I needed to understand the science and different things behind them. And when I did start trying the patches, the first day, I had a terrible sensory hangover from having 4 hours of intense testing the day before. I had gone to a new brain injury rehab clinic to, try to, my goal for 2022 was that I'd be able to drive my car to the edge of town and get my own groceries. And so I had a lot of hope that this doctor was going to be able to help me. And during the testing, I realized and recognized that he wasn't going to be able to help me the way that I had hoped. And so the next morning I felt terrible. I had a sensory hangover. My pain level was at a 7. And I put on a patch, and I could feel like light fingers going up my neck and some tingling. And 45 minutes later, my pain level was at a 3. And I was like, oh, these patches work. And so anyway, a week and a half later, that night I was able to go out to dinner with Tracey and her family. It was her son's birthday. So that was March 8th, 2022. And I didn't have any sensory overwhelm. I didn't have any sensory hangover. I was able to handle the restaurant and the people and everything. And then the next day, Tracey was doing a bunch of errands. I went on all the errands with her. No sensory overwhelm, no sensory hangover. And then a week and a half later, I had a friend come stay with me and his family. And I was able to actually drive for the first time for a few blocks to my house. And the next day I drove from my house across to the other side of town on back roads, which was about 10 miles or so. And a month and a half later, I went to Oregon with a friend and was able to drive the whole distance, and was like, I can buy a car and drive it home. And so I did. And so, ever since then, I've been able to do life and be able to, go back to work and function normally, and haven't had sensory hangovers and overwhelm. So anyway, that's my first story. I mean, I've also, utilized patches to have fillings removed and replaced, and a crown put on without any painkillers. They've helped me in a myriad of ways. And so anyway, that's my story.
Do you want to mention also about your grandson, Damon?
Yeah, so my grandson has some autistic tendencies, and they've been able to help, and he also has celiac disease, and it helped to clear his body better, and he was able to function a lot better.
Because he's absorbing the nutrients better, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. So we have a gut regeneration challenge that we've done, and that actually helps your gut lower the inflammation. It helps you be able to actually absorb vitamins and nutrients better, and your food better, and just overall function better as far as your body is concerned. And I now believe that everybody who starts the patches, I think they should start with X39 and Eon, which is for inflammation. And then after a couple of weeks, do the gut regeneration challenge, because they'll just have a way better result overall in the long term if they do that.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. Thank you so much, Joy. I'm so glad you could join us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And then is it Jay who's available to do the next testimonial? Jay, would you like to unmute yourself and share your story?
Yes, sorry about that. I'm trying to multitask here and do a few things.
No apologies.
But my story is I have, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a history in my family of diabetes. So one of many things. And my father actually about 5 years ago passed away. That was one of the symptoms. And also inflammation. My mom and also my dad, in regards to, would always have to put up their feet at the end of the day because their feet were swollen at the end of the day. So ran into Cami and at a networking event and mentioned to her about that. And I started taking the Eon patch on my feet, and then the X39. And then I'm kind of a skeptical. I want results right away, but I just want to let people know that sometimes everybody's story is different. Sometimes people have results right away, and then it takes a time for results to come. So I did everything in the beginning, and this is not working. So I stopped using the patches, was X39 Eon. And then I went to have a physical, and my doctor goes, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, well, tell me what you're doing. I know you have diabetes in your family, and your A1C is down from 5.9 to 5.6, which, people A1C, blood pressure measures blood sugar levels for whether you're pre-diabetic or so I said, wow, the doctor's like, yeah, that's great. I don't want you to go the direction of your dad and be on insulin. And then so I said, so that's good. So he kept on asking what I'm doing. I said, well, I started these patches. And then I said I wasn't really getting the results, and I stopped doing it. He goes, well, the last time I saw you, you weren't doing it. Then you did the patches. And so he was highly recommending me to re-continue using them. So I didn't realize the effects that were happening, and they were, after that physical, I was a believer. Also, my feet at the end of the day are no longer swollen, so I don't have to put them up at the end of the day. And just to segue on that, so yeah, so I got back on it. I'm a believer now, and it's really improved my health. I don't have issues with my feet swelling up anymore. I have to make another appointment because they're going to have to adjust my blood pressure medicine. It was at 50. It went from 25 to 50 as far as the dose, and now they need to take it back down because I don't need it that high anymore. So, and eventually I would like to get off it because I saw my dad have, pills for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was a pill for each symptom. So, once I get back in there, I'll probably be able to get off it, or at least reduce the dose even more. So, and then just real quickly, I want to Sunday, my mother, 82, has had a knee surgery, several 2 hip replacements, and also has had issues with inflammation in her feet. And I had had a call with her, and she has been in pain, has not been able to sleep well for I don't know how many nights, but pain in the surgery, in her replaced knee and her feet. So I had reached out to Cami, gave her a call, and then we went over there, met with her last night. And my mom woke up this morning and says, Jay, this is the first night that I've had a restful sleep and no pain. So that's big. And of course now she's like, okay, son, when are you gonna order the the patches? So now she's been bugging me. She's like, okay, I'm gonna use them, and um yeah, my
Wonderful.
mom is my heart. So anyway, so yeah, she's gonna be using him as well, and she saw. I'm glad she's resting good at night now. So last night was her first restful night without no pain. So anyway.
Oh, fantastic, Jay. Thank you. Oh,
Yep.
those are the stories. And that's why we do this. Cami and I do this every Tuesdays. We just think people need to know this because it's so life-changing. And we like to say, don't pop a pill, place a patch. So much better for you. So thank you for sharing, both of you. And so the next thing we want to talk about, and I believe Cami will put this in chat. So if anyone would like to access this, you can save it and print it. We did not have this tool when we were getting started on these. We were a little bit blindly just putting these on our bodies and having amazing results. We have learned so much more. We're just trying to spoon feed this and accelerate people's results with these tools like a health tracker. And had I had that health tracker, I would have noted all of my issues. Number one being menopause that took away my brain and gave me brain fog that I couldn't believe. Anxiety, crying, hair falling out, nails paper thin, loss of words, hot flashes, a lack of sleep. I don't think I slept more than 2 hours. I would have written all those kinds of things on my health tracker. I also would have written the fact that I had bunion pain, like you cannot believe, in my left foot. And I would have also written down that I was on levothyroxine for hypothyroidism for 15 years. And I just thought that was what women did because half of my friends are on this thing and it's just what we get and we do it. And guess what? 4.5 months into using these things, my thyroid regenerated itself and I got to wean off of my meds with my doctor's help, mind you. And just like Jay, you want to work with your doctor, but we hear this all the time. And it's not really great to be putting foreign things in our bodies like prescriptions that are really toxic to our bodies and can create some side effects down the road and create a next problem, right? But I had had a bunion surgery several years prior. I needed it for both of my feet. The doctor said, okay, both are equally bad from living in ski boots and ice skates as a kid. You pick which one you want to do first. And I chose the right one. I lived in a recliner for a month and a half. And I said I would never do that again. It was so painful. And Then a friend called me about 9 months after I was using these patches, and she said, "Do you think those patches of yours would help my bunion? Because they want to do that horrible bunionectomy surgery that you said you'd never do again." And I said, "Bunion? Oh my gosh, I used to have terrible bunion pain in my left foot. I don't have any pain anymore." I take off both my shoes. I look at my feet, and my feet are identical. One foot had a surgically removed giant bunion. The other giant bunion went away on its own. So that is a reduction of inflammation and, nerves recreating, reconnecting and repairing, and bone realignment. So please do use this health tracker. It is really terrific because you cannot feel cellular change. This is a slower process because we are repairing the body at the root cause of whatever the issue is. These things can take a little quicker than popping a quick pill and, instantly having pain relief at a price of another side effect down the road or a bigger problem. This is Mother Nature's ability to rebalance and recalibrate the body to find homeostasis and balance. But we do have to be patient. But that health tracker is really cool to help understand what's happening. And so we're going to, obviously we're sharing some information with you tonight, and you're not going to remember all of this, but there's a fantastic website. I highly encourage you to write this down, startx39now.com. And that is really great to share if you've got a friend or somebody and around the area that you want to help them or across the country. You can give them this website and they can go watch a few videos and learn. And they can learn from some doctors. There's a cardiologist, an acupuncture doctor, an integrative medicine doctor, chiropractors, so on and so forth. And I've learned so much from all these doctors. I did learn from the acupuncture doctor that these patches are very, very similar to acupuncture in the fact that it is moving the energy and unblocking blocked energy, because blocked energy is pain. But when I have shared this with some people, and some of them have very great medical backgrounds and doctors, they like to see the science and the data, and they don't want to just put on a patch and have faith and hope. They want to know it really does work and is proven. And this section is on that website, and it's fantastic. It starts out with 100+ age reversal patents, over 90 clinical trials. These are trials done around the globe by independent scientific labs. Some of these are even peer-reviewed studies, which is the highly acclaimed way of doing a clinical trial. It's not this company, setting up their own Pepsi challenge and doing their own thing, but these are the real people doing it and validating the results. The third button down is my personal favorite, and it is age reversal with that GHK. And I really encourage you to go and check that out, because it goes into things like a study of the cardiovascular system. And after 6 weeks of wearing the X39, participants lowered their cardiovascular age about 8 weeks on average. That's pretty remarkable. You wear something for only 6 weeks and you can measure biomarkers. So we're talking blood pressure, and other measurement devices. And what they're finding is that for every day they wear that patch, they are actually a day and a third younger. And you start adding that up year after year, and you get to see some regeneration happening. We're going to show you some of those pictures here in a minute. But that anti-fast growing cells we talked about earlier, that is part of this section. But these were originally developed 20 years ago for the U.S. Navy SEALs to help with their endurance, their recovery, to push their bodies on missions after living on dark submarines. The dark isn't good for our brain and our body. And a lot of them had depression, and they were looking to stimulants like caffeine. And sadly, some of them were even going to amphetamines, which gets them kicked out. So David was approached by the Navy. He was working on another project using infrared light for power supply on the submarines and oxygen supply. And he took on the challenge, and he came back and he created this, the very first patch called Energy Enhancer, which Cami will talk more about. But it was quickly adapted by a lot of top professional athletes. One of the first most well-known was Michael Phelps. When he won all those medals in Beijing, he was wearing these patches. David Beckham, Serena and Venus Williams, Tom Brady, he says he couldn't have played football so late in his life. But it was not until 2019 that this company starts targeting consumers like you and I, because of the invention of that X39, first ever being able to regenerate our repair cells. And that has really changed their approach in marketing. So we are now able to share this with people that we care about and we love. Here's my own husband the day after surgery. We put some of these patches on his horrible bruise. And overnight, look at what that Eon patch is responsible for pulling out the inflammation. Well, guess what? It also pulls out bruising. It also helps the autonomic nervous system. We go from fight or flight mode into rest and digest, and it does great things. But this is Carla's dad, Ray McCord, and this was his invitation to his birthday party, the picture on the right, when he was not 90 years old. I think he was like 88 or something in that picture. But look at him at his actual 90th birthday party, the picture on the left. Does that man look younger or what? Look at those eyes. Look at the beautiful smoothness in his skin. That is the collagen coming back and regenerating. This lady here with psoriasis, painful way of the body releasing toxins. They're not getting out the traditional pathways. They're coming out through the skin. And we see that a lot with other things like eczema and acne, but these patches can help reverse that. In the middle here, we have got some ladies that have undergone cosmetic surgery. And this is a cosmetic doctor who realized the difference that wearing patches can make in the repair and regeneration after a procedure. The lady on the left is 5 weeks without using any patches. The two ladies on the right are only 10 days after their procedure using the patches. So he is quoting about a 40% accelerated repair rate with the power of the patch. I love the guy here in the bottom. This is showing you somebody who stepped into a hornet's nest. And I think that's about 20 minutes after applying the patches. Look at the difference. His eye is open, the coloration. This guy had a snowboard accident. Rapid repair there. Thank goodness his mom had the patches. This is actually showing you what scar remodeling and collagen support can do. This is an open heart scar. Oh, excuse me. Open heart surgery scar. There we go. That picture in the middle with the divot is showing you Mother Nature's repair job, but just 1 month. The furthest picture on the right there is X39, and you can see how that's remodeled, that collagen is filled in. And this is showing you bulging discs in somebody's neck. So we are looking at a degenerative spinal cord. So where you see indentations, that allows the touching of the bone side on side there, and that is pain. That's that term bone on bone. And the actual bulging disc is down here in the bottom between C7 and T1. Can you see that black thing pushing into that spinal cord? And the picture on the right is the same patient just a few months later, and that's completely regenerated spinal cord. No surgery necessary, no injections. That's wearing phototherapy patch to help regenerate that. This is spinal realignment. This lady had a curvature to her spine, and this is 1 month later using a combination of X39 and Ice Wave, another patch that Cami will share with you in a bit. And this is just showing you the difference of anti-aging. We hear a lot of cosmetic companies and advertising talking about anti-aging. If we were talking anti-aging, Grandpa Dude over here would still look like Grandpa Dude. He would stop where he is. But what if you're where you don't want to be and you want to go back? Well, that's where this reversal of the age process comes in. And this is him 14 months later. And what a difference. I call him now Hot Dude. And then Mandy over here, she's from Australia. She starts out looking like grandma, and then she starts looking like the daughter. And in 1 year, to me, she really looks like the granddaughter. Pretty great. So that is the difference with age reversal. This age reversal I love because to me, it's just about vitality, energy, and feeling good. I think this lady is living her best life. Look at those happy eyes with the energy. She just looks like a whole different person. Collagen. Hugely important. And hyaluronic acid. So the collagen is the fluff. It fills in, it smooths the wrinkles. It also is what fills in around those varicose veins. Of course, the veins are still there, but that brings back that nice padding, Mother Nature's padding to hide and keep us younger looking. But the hyaluronic acid is tightening. Very important, looking at that turkey neck evolution there. And then this guy here with that birthmark, pretty radical change for him. But these are truly better than Botox because this is only goodness for your body, nothing bad. We are putting nothing in the body. And I highly encourage you, please don't ever use Botox, especially around the head, the face, the angry 11s. You know, I have a lot of girlfriends that do that. It's just not good to put botulism that close to your brain. You're setting yourself up for some pretty scary things down the road. Use some patches. Let Mother Nature's tools like collagen and hyaluronic acid regenerate and restore your looks. Hormone regulation is the young lady on the left. Man, I wish I'd had these when I was going through life because I had a lot of hormonal problems. I always had these big things on my chin, cysts. They're painful. They're embarrassing. And look at her, 6 weeks later, she has glowing porcelain skin. Hair regrowth. So that collagen is also your hair. It's your eyebrows. It's your eyelashes. Collagen is also eyes, and it can impact vision. And I had my own experience with that one too. So pretty great things. Autoimmune conditions. So autoimmune is when our body is collecting more toxins than the body can process out, and then they start doing damage to the body. And this gentleman is really one man. I really debated Cami when we first got this picture. I thought for sure we had grandpa and then we had this young guy, but no, this is the same guy. And this is 1 year after he's using these patches and starts getting the toxins to leave the body rather than stay in the body and impair the body. Pretty remarkable change. This is showing you a lady here with just having gone through radiation. Her friend brings her some patches. You can see she puts it on June 6th. And look at her at June 23rd. What a difference. But check this one out. June 30th. So we're talking 3 weeks here. Look at her. She is just beautiful and glowing. And not only is it doing great things for the outside, but just think of the internal damage from that radiation. It's all getting pretty on the inside, and that's really what matters most. We have a number of systems where we combine patches to get different results. In the knee, bone on bone is very popular combination of patches here, but we do have the ability with these patches to regenerate cartilage because collagen starts out as joint lubrication, and then it turns into repair of tissues like ligament, tendon, and ultimately it takes a few months, and you want to use a lot of vitamin C and some other collagen proteins, but you can regrow that cartilage. It's pretty amazing. But for our family, the brain health study was pretty life-changing because Eric's dad was diagnosed with rapid decline of words in a cognition condition in which we were told to prepare to put him in a home. He probably had about 6 months as rapidly as his was evolving in his brain and spreading. And luckily, I had experienced my own brain regeneration with these. And I started doing some research and I became friends with that doctor that I called Grandpa Dude and Hot Dude, Dr. Harmon. And I reached out to him and he told me what patches we would use for my father-in-law. And I'm happy to say in 90 days, those words returned. In 5 months, not only did the words return, but the memories, the personality, and very importantly, the sense of humor and the fun dad jokes. You know, he's a joke a minute, and he's truly doing that. We just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary the other night, and I have videos of him telling great little stories about his kids growing up, and it was very heartwarming. But I want to show you what this study was showing us. So in session 1, that first circle where you see orange and red, that is inflammation in the brain. That is a hot brain. This is a heat mapping EEG on a 77-year-old woman with dementia. And in session 2, that is after just 3 weeks of using X39. So that hot brain has become a cold brain. It's not a perfectly balanced brain yet, but the body is working in process here, and it knows what it needs and what it needs to do. 3 weeks later, at 6 weeks total now, that is a really beautifully balanced brain and a decreased inflammation and improved memory, focus, and just a changed life. And we see this all the time, and we hear about this a lot too. I love the fact that these aren't just for us, not just for our human babies, but they can be for our fur babies too. And they were using these for several years on racehorses. horse whisperers, horse trainers, you know, he'd have a very expensive horse pull a ligament or tendon, rather than put him out to pasture, they'd start patching him up. And right away, they were getting these horses out of pain and repairing and back on the track and living a good life. But they've realized that these can help regenerate dogs and cats. And I got to realize this with my own friend. Dog on the left here is Brutus, a 14-year-old black lab. And Terry's my girlfriend. She got these patches. And I said, Terry, you know, when you're done with those patches, don't throw away your used patches. Why don't you put them on Brutus's bed where he sleeps, or tape them on the inside of his collar? They do not have to go on skin, by the way. These work both ways. And if someone doesn't like the feeling of the adhesive or might get a little skin irritation, you can put them on your clothes or in your pillowcase. They work just as well. But this was Brutus. I did not realize that he had gone blind from diabetes, cataracts, no pupil. That is a white eye and a very blind doggy. And I told her to take a before picture. That was December 21st of 2022. The picture on the right with brown eye and the big black pupil with a dog that follows her around and sees perfectly fine is December 28th, 1 week later, the same year, 2022. We were shocked. She called us and we cried. So I'm going to tell you another combination that's had profound change on our family. But I found this GHK copper peptide talking about breaking down fat cells from a molecular cell biology professor from University of California. Then I got to listen to a metaphysician, Dr. Velvet, talk about this gut regeneration, which Joy mentioned earlier. But she decided before she would use that to help treat the mental health of her patients, she better try it herself. And in 18 days, she lost 33 inches over her body. That is her body releasing toxins, detoxifying, reducing inflammation, balancing the endocrine system. That FP6 is pretty amazing in what it does. But in 7 days, that endocrine system on average in clinical trials is showing an 87% increase in functionality to help get that communication out to all of the hormones that need that communication. But that SP6, Cami will talk more about that. It helps with cravings. Pretty amazing, whether those be sugar, salt. But this changed our family's life when my bonus daughter, Angie, came to stay at the beach house because she thought she had the flu and she'd been very sick, and everything she ate, she threw up. And I told her about this, and she said, yeah, I want to try it. So the next day we did. She stopped throwing up from that day forward. And in 18 days, the second picture of her in the skinny jeans was her. She lost 35 pounds. Now, mind you, that is not all fat. A lot of that is water weight, inflammation, water retention, and it is toxins. Toxins actually get protected, are protecting the organs when they get enveloped into fat bubbles. That is Mother Nature's design to protect the body and organs. But here she is in December. I mean, just living her best life. She's sleeping. Her anxiety, her depression are much better. She's really not doing any sort of a diet or exercise plan. But now in April, she had lost 70 pounds, and those jeans that were tight are now really baggy. And so it's pretty exciting stuff. So I'm going to turn this over to Cami now, and she is going to walk you through. We've got just a few minutes left. She'll walk you through how you might get your hands on these.
Thanks for leaving me so much time, Trace.
I had a little restart there at the beginning. Sorry.
I know. I love it. No, super briefly, we just want to make sure that you have the information that you need to get this in your hands. And just to give you an idea, you know, the stem cell injections that we were talking about can cost multiples of thousands of dollars. And you have to go out of the country to get them. PRP, if that's an option for you, is an invasive thing, and it also costs a lot of money as well. And this sounds like a screaming deal to me, comparing those two options to regenerating your own stem cells. So just have that in mind as you look at retail for the X39 and the X49 for a month supply is $149. And then we love to help people get wholesale pricing, and wholesale pricing for these is $99 for a pack of 30 for a month's supply. So the other patches that we talk about are called support patches. And our favorite by far is the Eon, and that one helps cause your body to make an anti-inflammatory that really dials down inflammation. And you guys probably all know that inflammation is the beginning of disease, beginning of trouble in the body. It's a signal, right? And so this Eon dials down inflammation naturally, causing your body to make an anti-inflammatory. And then more of those stem cells that are activated by that GHK copper peptide can go actually physically repair stuff, renew and regenerate your body. So we call that the dynamic duo. By far, that's our favorite. And we usually start about 99.9% of our people off on those two to get them started on patching. And then all of the others we will touch on as needed if somebody wants to get faster results or if they have specific issues or concerns. So the ice wave is tremendous for helping people with acute pain or chronic pain. But once we have the X39 and Eon on them, we will use ice wave to help at the pain point, and it blocks the pain message going to the brain when we find the right placement. Carnosine is for really great for your brain. It's really great for your heart. It's really great for muscles. And glutathione is a major antioxidant. I like to think of this antioxidant as my favorite garbage man in my body. He takes out the trash. It goes through and detoxes me and helps me clean out the garbage and give a pathway out of my body so it doesn't have to stay there. And that's part of why that gut regeneration system works so well, is because toxins are stored in fat and stored in as a protection from us. So if we can give permission to the body to process those toxins out, then we can reduce in inches. It's a lovely thing. The energy enhancer, I'm wearing them. It's a tan patch and a white patch, just like Ice Wave, the granddaddy of them all. And that was the first patching system that was created by our inventor, David Schmidt. And by wearing these, you have this beautiful, steady source of energy with no crash until you take the patches off. And you're burning 300 to 600 extra calories a day in fat. Thank you very much. And then silent nights cause your body to make melatonin. Again, all of these patches are phototherapy patches. They're all light reflecting. They're triggered by your own body heat as a form of light, telling your body to make different things. So each patch refracts your body light at a different frequency, and your body sees that frequency of light and goes, oh, I'm going to make cool stuff. SP6. Tracey mentioned that it was really good for cravings. It does work on the hypothalamus of the brain, but it also is tremendously helpful for your pancreas, kidneys, prostate, your intestines. Like, it's incredibly helpful for so many good things. So that SP6 is named after spleen 6. It's an acupuncture point. All of these support patches. Oh, there's one more, isn't there, Trace?
Oh, sorry.
All of these support patches, we'll mention Alavita in a second. There's another slide for that. But the support patches cost retail $79 for a pack of 30. Just remember that Ice Wave and energy enhancers are a 2-patch system. So there's 15 applications in a pack of 30. So we love to get your wholesale pricing down. If you just buy one, it's $69. If you buy 2 packs of any of those support patches, it's $59 each. If you buy 3 or more, it's $49. How do we access these prices? I'll tell you after I tell you about Alavita. The Alavita is an incredible patch, and I'm so excited. Dr. Harmon just announced that he is his book is headed to publishing. Yeah. So Dr. Harmon is a friend of ours. Remember when Tracy was talking about that old grandpa dude to hot guy? That's Dr. Harmon. He's been doing these patches for quite a few years. He's a chiropractor, had tremendous success with these patches and what they're doing for his body, reversing some heart issues, some digestive issues, tremendous. And he wrote a book a few years ago compiling the 50 years of research on copper peptides. Highly recommend it. His next book is on the peptide that Alavita causes our body to make. It's called epitalin. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it is something that helps decalcify the pineal gland. And I didn't know this until a little while ago. The pineal gland is what tells your pituitary gland what to do. So the pineal gland calcifies over as we age, but it also calcifies more quickly during trauma and in chlorine situations, fluoride, different things will calcify the pineal gland. This Alavita patch is probably one of Tracy's favorites.
Yeah, it sure is.
And it helps decalcify that pineal gland. And that's part of the reason we believe that she got her words back in her brain. So we love the Alavita. And so there's a day cream and a night cream. There's a wonderful pack, wholesale price for 2 envelopes of the Alavita patches. That's a 2-month supply, a day cream and a night cream for $150. Or you can just buy the patch if you'd like. There's also an eye cream that has copper peptides in it, which is tremendous. That's sold separately. So just so you know, when you first put that X39 on, a third of our genome gets reset to a younger state. That's tremendous. You may not feel I like to say unicorn farts and rainbow and sparkles in those 24 hours. Some people do, but some people do not. But that doesn't mean it's not going to work. So your body is going to work system by system. So what we do is we ask that you give the X39 a try 1 month for every decade you're alive, because like we saw in that 6-week trial for the heart, reversing age, by 8 weeks, we saw the study over the brain balancing, reversing some major issues in 6 weeks. We just ask that you give it some time and don't expect that it's going to work overnight. My goodness, what a blessing that it does, or if it does. But it doesn't work that way always for everybody. Just know that it's going to work on you. And then, so to get wholesale pricing, we can do it 2 ways. You can pay $25 and then just order whatever you would like. But that's not necessarily the best. It'll get you wholesale pricing, but we like to give you a wholesale kit or offer a wholesale kit and work with you individually and help you build the kit. So in this kit, you're getting the pricing at its lowest price. The silver kit has no $25 fee, and you're just buying a one-time pack of patches that gets you a great deal. And again, we can mix and match and create the pack that you want. And from then on, it's the pricing goes up, but they continue to add in and throw in additional bundles of patches for free. So like the gold kit is for $500, but you're actually getting $550 of wholesale pricing, $550 worth of patches. So it's pretty cool. We offer the diamond kit for someone who maybe you have a really large family, or for like clinics, or like a chiropractic office or something like that, where they want to offer this to and resell it at retail for their patients. So are you ready to try these patches? There's a 30-day money back guarantee. So there really is no downside to giving light a try to make change in your body. And we recommend that you try it for about 90 days, though. Again, obviously, it gets you past your money back guarantee. But like we just discussed, light makes change in the body. And we do recommend that you take it for a month for every decade you've been alive. And we would love it if you like can think of people that this needs to be shared with. Please let us share this. It hurts my heart to see people in pain. It hurts my heart to see people taking pill after pill after pill and different prescriptions, and the frustration that comes with. And we'd love to offer a different solution. So yeah. Does anybody? Oh, we have different ways that we can offer. Like tonight you're on this call, and we thank you for being on this call, but 5 days a week there's a way that you can listen. And if you go to thepatchingpodcast.com, you can go listen to different patching podcasts. You can listen to doctors speaking, like at 5 p.m. on Tuesday evenings. Dr. Stacy does a tremendous share. So there's no lack of information or ways to find out. And as like Tracey said, we have the website that we can point our friends and family to, that so you don't have to understand it completely. You can share it anyway. You can share that, say, hey, I found this. I think it's working. I don't know. People are getting great results. I thought you might be interested. And you don't have to be the expert. And as Tracey and I love to share this with people, please keep coming, keep asking your questions. And we're here every Tuesday night. Sometimes we do in-person events around the Puget Sound area. And then every Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m., our friend Marcy does a similar call to this. And she also gives away packs of patches if you bring guests. So only the guests are able to win a pack of patches. So this has been a tremendous company that has been growing like gangbusters. So this has been in this, the company has been kind of a secret sauce in the athletic world for many, many years. But more recently, its word has been spreading. And just when that X39 came out in 2018, in short order, the company went from $30 million a year in annual revenue to over 300 million in just like a short amount of time. And last year, I think this year we're due to top over 500,000. So, I mean, $500 million, excuse me. So this company is also award winning as one of the fastest growing network marketing companies around. So watch out if you want to join us as something that you would like to earn a little bit of income or a lot of income. This definitely has a ton of potential. So we are expanding all around the world. Korea just opened up as a market last year. There are millions and millions and millions of people using this product. So, but as you know, there's a whole bunch more people who need to know about this, and mostly our friends and family, of course. So, this, I figured out what I wanted to be when I get older is younger. We stole this from Dr. Harmon. We thought this was pretty amazing. And nobody wants to get older if the aches and pains and things keep going downhill. But this concept, these patches, it doesn't have to be that way. So we're gonna grow older in years and grow wiser, I hope. But I hope my body can keep up with my lifestyle, because I don't want to slow down yet. So Does anybody have any questions? We would love if you unmuted. If you have any questions about what we presented today, we would love to answer them. Or if you are ready for more information, we certainly can send you back to the person who invited you to this call. So.
Yeah, anybody have any questions? Happy to answer. And I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to stop our recording now.